Hello and welcome to Husky Hoops. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. And with me, as always, the legendary, iconic voice of the Huskies, the best of the best, Joe D'Ambrosia. Joe, great to see you.
Good morning, Cully. How are you this morning?
Mm, if I were any better, I would need a twin. So we were talking about Friday's game, and I posted before. You pretty much predicted it, basically down to the score. You had it 8 to 9 points, and that's exactly what it was, right around there.
Yeah,
And
finished 71-63.
yeah, just like you said. And you also talked about Braylon Mullins having more of an impact, and he definitely did. Now that he's healthy, he's doing a great job, and he's probably going to take over that spot for Stewart. And like you had mentioned, Stewart may be more comfortable coming off the bench.
And he was
And
great on Friday night,
he
coming off the
was,
bench. I mean,
he
he
was,
he was terrific. Um, I think that starting lineup, which they've started 2 days in a row, 2 games in a
yeah,
row, is their best with Mullins at the three, Caravan at the four, uh, Demery and Solo in the backcourt, and Reed up front in the middle. Um, they Texas gave him a run, gave him a good game, but when UConn needed it, they got that 40-foot 3-pointer from Ball with the shot clock running out to put him
running
up
down. Yep.
4. And then Caravan did Caravanish things. He blocked a shot, came down the other end and buried a three, and that was pretty much the ball game there. And that was a shot. I mean, I've been to hundreds, if not thousands, of events at the Civic Center, XL Center, now People's Bank Arena. I was there for the last 2 games, and the place it hasn't been as loud as it was when Caravan knocked down that three. So a real good win against the Texas team that I'm not sure how good they are, but is certainly wrapped up that gauntlet of six non-conference tough games that UConn had at 5-1, and they weren't at full strength when they played Arizona, or they might have been 6-0.
Yeah, they're far from slouches. Hi, Maria. How are you?
Hi,
Hey, what's
Maria.
up, guys? How you doing?
Welcome back.
Yeah,
UConn,
thank you.
UConn women's legend, Western Connecticut State University head coach Maria Conlon.
You can
She,
add a professional funeral and wake goer too to
yeah,
my.
from
Yeah,
last week.
tough times.
Oh
Sorry
cow,
about that.
man! Every day, it's crazy.
Well, hopefully you don't have to go anymore for a while.
Yeah, that'd be nice,
Please.
right?
Yeah, really.
Did you guys have any games last week?
No, we're off
You're
until
off now, right? Yeah.
we go to Puerto Rico, so which is good.
Did you get a chance to check out the Texas game, and what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought we looked good. I was, I think I just heard Joe say this towards the end there, but I don't know. I thought Texas was going to be better.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought we looked good. I mean, you know, uh, we're making it happen. We're winning games that we should, and other games that we're expected to. So I don't know. I like the way we look right now.
I think
Yeah.
they're playing great. I think
Yeah,
they
I do
settled up.
too.
Even though last night after the game, and we'll talk about this later, uh, Dan talked about the fact that they're still figuring out rotations and stuff. I think this lineup with Mullins starting and Stewart, who was banged up last night, which is why he didn't play more coming off the bench, is their best lineup.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Because
definitely
the
looks
Mullins
that.
kid, I'll tell you what, after watching him in person for 2 games, the Mullins kid gets his shot off as quickly as anybody I've ever seen. I mean, and it's always the same. It's always the same rhythm. It's always the same motion. He's a player. he's a player.
Yeah.
No, he is for sure. He is for sure. And the one thing that I noted about the Texas game, from what I saw, I thought Reed obviously did a good job, but he was giving off more assists than usual. His passing looked a lot better, which I hadn't seen from him before, or even noticed he was capable of doing, which I thought had an impact. And it's good to see him healthy as well.
Well, he's not there yet. He's not 100% yet, but he's better than he's been all year.
Okay, is that better? There you go.
There you go.
Um,
Fix that hair, Conlon. Be the rose between two thorns.
you so you don't think he's 100% yet?
No, I think he's close. I think he's still getting back in game shape. I think that's the main thing, you know. But he's so important to what if they have any hopes of winning again. His health is critical.
Yeah.
You know, and the last couple of games he's played better. So, you know, I would think coming back, you know, they got one game left, and then when they come back on New Year's Eve in Cincinnati, hopefully he's 100% by then when they, you know, get into the crux of the Big East schedule.
What did you think of Malachi Smith off the bench?
Much better than Demery in that game, I'll tell you that. In fact, Demery couldn't even get back in the game in the final minutes. I still think, and I might be totally wrong on this, I still think the point guards dribble too much. But apparently that's not an issue, so that's just me imagining things. But I still think both of them dribble the ball way too much. I'd like to see him try to get into their offense sooner. But he was great in that game. I mean, 2 straight games with 9 assists coming off the bench. That's pretty strong.
There's Coach Schumann.
Hello, Coach.
Hey, what's going on?
Ready
Hi,
to go.
What's up, Dave? How you doing, man?
Doing great. I'm doing great.
Yeah. Joe, your comment about the dribbling, that's just a generational basketball problem overall right now, I think.
No, they all do it right.
You know. Yeah, I went to my daughter's high school game. She had her first high school game last night. They won in overtime. And the amount of
you got a daughter in high school?
Yeah, she's a freshman, man. Yep. The amount of excessive dribbling, both teams, it's not just one team, is like, it's amazing. These kids don't understand that a pass gets there faster than 6 dribbles. You know?
No, they like to look cool. I remember the one commenter said that they should be going between their legs more and doing more cool stuff, dribbling.
They got a lot in their bag. Yeah. That's the thing, right? More tools in their tool belt.
Yeah. I thought that was hilarious.
Back in the day, just a nice hard jab and a crossover was good enough, but you know, it's not like that anymore.
Dave, what did you think of the Texas game?
Well, there's a lot of things with that. Number one, I think Hurley is a trip on a whole different level. I mean, he is on a whole different level. I love it, but it's almost like it's like a movie kind of. I don't know if that makes sense, but it seems like it's kind of like a movie. Like when you watch
Hoosiers or Coach Carter. Which one?
It ain't Hoosiers or Coach Carter. I'm curious. I don't know if you guys talked about this yet. I'm curious what Joe thinks about it. I mean,
it's Nick Nolte.
Yeah, there you go.
That's blue chips.
That's much closer. Blue chips. Yes, blue chips. I don't know. Like I think that they're very explosive. They have a lot of talent. There's no doubt they have a lot of talent, and I think the bigs are really good. But it's I don't know. It's a dynamic where I feel like they go through like these crazy ebbs and flows in a game that
They do go through.
they look like they're like this phenomenal team, and then
They'll drop off.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what to exactly make of it, but obviously
he talked about it last night, Shu. It's interesting that you bring it up because after the game, he talked about it and said one of the things that this team lacks is the killer instinct.
Yeah.
They had DePaul, they had a chance to step on their throat last night and let them hang around. And that's something that he says they need to get better at. So your ebbs and flows comment is 100% correct. They just don't step on teams' necks the way good teams do or great teams do. They're a very good team. They're not great yet, but they don't finish games off where it doesn't go. Remember, Maria, in your day when the women got up by 20 and before you knew it would be 35. I mean, this team doesn't have that yet.
No,
Demery, like I think he's a fantastic. He has the ability to be a fantastic defensive player. A little bit like completely erratic, I think, on offense.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, like what he scored. He scored 2 against Texas, maybe.
No, Texas. He had. Hold on, I got my. I've done homework for this show.
I thought he had 2.
Yeah, he had 2 against Texas, and then last night he was 1 for 8. He had 2 last night as well, but he had 11 assists last night.
Right.
Played a terrific floor game, and Hurley raved about his defense afterwards.
Yes, his defense is phenomenal. Like he's an explosive, like he's like super twitchy guy.
Yeah, as Hurley said last night, he's turned him from the quote dog shit defensive team they were last year to a championship caliber defensive team this year. By the way, that keeps Hurley's streak alive of swearing in post-game press conferences to 51 games.
I didn't see that one. I got to find that. That's great. That's a great line. Yeah. Oh my God. And when he loses it, when he lost it on, I think it was the official in the Texas game. That's already gone viral. Like he just, I think it was I don't know how you say it, if it's Reby or Ryby, but like when he got the foul or whatever, he did not agree with.
Well, he pulled a move last night I've never seen before. He took his glasses and actually threw them off. He was so pissed off at some point.
He got that from my favorite TikTok guy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But
he hasn't gotten a technical this year.
My favorite TikTok guy, after he eats something he really likes, he takes his glasses. He's got like 5 million followers, and he fires them after he eats a food that he really likes. I think he's stealing it from guys all over social media. Some of his stuff. He's got to come up with new goodies.
So he took the glasses and just shot them, just threw them.
Yeah, well, he just took them off his head and threw them like that. And they ended up right at the corner of the bench where Kamani Young was sitting. So
I would have thrown them at someone, but that's funny to hear. That's funny to hear. Actually. But I mean, that was the Texas game was a big win on the road. They finished their non-conference schedule.
No, the Texas win was home, Stevie.
Oh, it was home?
Yes.
That's why I was there. I didn't go to Austin.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
was it Gamble or was it at
the last 2 games have been at Connecticut's most famous arena, which is my new name, as opposed to the world's most famous arena. I'm now calling Hartford Connecticut's most famous arena.
Right. The X Center or whatever it is, or the
People's Bank Arena.
The People's Bank. Okay.
Oh,
it's People's Bank bought it. That's right. We talked.
That's why
they bought the naming rights. Yeah.
But 10-1 non-conference schedule. That is impressive. That is better than last year. What were your? what were your thoughts, Joe, overall on the non-conference schedule that they played? And
Oh,
and how
it
they
was the
did?
toughest. It was the
It was
toughest
tough, right?
non-conference schedule I think they've played, and they much like as I know we're talking about this with Maria with the women, but you have to because the Big East is such the quote
Yeah.
culturally dog shit.
Yeah.
Maria, what did you think about the non-conference schedule and going 10-1, finishing it out?
Yeah. I mean, I think Joe's spot on. I think it's, I think they scheduled the right conferences and a lot of the right teams this year. So, knowing that you're going into the Big East, which is dismal at best, they got some great wins to put on their resume when March rolls around. And I think now they've seen a bunch of different styles of teams too. One of the problems if you don't schedule the right conferences and the right people in your out of conference games is that when you see those teams in March, you're not prepared at all. Obviously the coaches are prepared, they'll have a good scout, but there's nothing that prepares you better than experiencing it, live prior in the season. So I thought, I think it's, listen, I was a little hesitant early on with just some of the stuff I saw early in some early season injuries where I was like, man, I just don't know. I mean, I think they easily could have gone like 6-4 and they didn't. So kudos to them. Great out of conference schedule, and they took care of business.
Yeah. Dave, what were your thoughts? And I think Caravan's playing much, much better, and he looks more comfortable out there. He doesn't look hesitant at all. He
Well,
looks
he doesn't
like
have to be the go-to guy now. You got Mullins
He
back.
doesn't, right? Exactly.
I think we've said this.
I mean,
He's not the guy. He's the guy that supports the guy, right? Like that's what he's always been. He's really, really good at that.
When he's at his best, Maria. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, now that, like I said that like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, when he's playing dismal, it's like you can't ask this guy to do things that Liam did last year or Steph did the year before. That he's not that guy, but he's really good at that support role.
Supporting
And
cast.
I think he did a good enough job of it to get them some victories. But this is where he shines, is in that role of just being that guy who's going to make all the right plays, but not have to score 20 every night.
When he's your number 3 scoring option, that's when he's most effective.
100%.
And he might be number 4 behind Ball, Mullins, and Willis Reed.
Yep.
Yep. Right. Reed has been awesome. I mean, Ball at 26 the other night against, it was Butler, not DePaul, I thought, right?
Butler last night, DePaul Sunday.
Yeah. DePaul Sunday, yeah. It was Ball at 26. I mean, he was unbelievable. I think he had 9 in the other game. And then Reed has been so consistent and so just every night coming out and like he's getting between 10 and 15 points almost every night. He's always working towards somewhere between 5 and 10 rebounds every night. Like he's just been like a solid. And then obviously the other center, Rybe has really done a great job of coming off the bench. He's been really bad, and he's obviously so tall. And he gets his between 4 and 8 points. And I think what's interesting is that he's actually giving like pretty much solid minutes most games to 9 players. 9 players are playing. Sometimes Jaden Ross is a little less, here that, but he's playing 9 players, which is, I don't know if a lot of people are playing 9 players solid minutes every single game at that high a level, which is, I think is going to help them stay healthy. Although that's one of his complaints is that guys are always hurt. I don't know. I'll tell you what's amazing about him. He'll throw everything under the bus if he has to. Like, he basically is like, we got hamstring pulls, we got ankle injuries. Like I saw that one. I'm like, oh my God, the training staff and the strength and conditioning staff must love that when they come in the next day after getting blasted, basically get blasted on in the press conference. But one of the things about him is like he is, and I think the team, this team at least seems to, there's a lot of depth, so they're able to really respond to it. and everybody can come in and really play their role and do the job that they have to do. And if someone is off, another guy picks them up. That's when I think you got a chance to have a great team if they can. I think maybe that ebb and flow, that might be part of what the ebb and flow problem is too, a little bit. Like, you don't know who's going to be on. Like, this group of guys are out there. They're playing great. They're rolling. They mix in somebody else. They go into a little slump. He remixes in somebody else, a group of other guys. They come back. Maybe that's part of it. But I think playing 9 guys is like, I mean, that's almost like back to North Carolina Jordan days, playing where North Carolina used to play like 9, 10 players all the time.
And I don't think you lose anything by playing the 9 guys that we have. We have so much talent and so much depth that he's capable of doing that. And you're not seeing a massive drop off. And like you said, Dave, when you have someone like Reed, and when, like Joe said it too, having Rybe is a 2-headed monster inside, teams can't contend with that because teams don't have guys that size anymore. So that's a huge advantage for them. Right, Joe?
Well, they might have one guy, Steve, but they don't have 2.
They don't have
They
2,
can't
right?
rotate. Like, very, very few have 2 big men. And last night Ryba hit a 3, which made the place go crazy, and that's a shot. Then he took another one and missed. But I mean, if he's open, shoot it, especially when you've got a little bit of a lead. But yeah, I think the depth. I think Shu's right. They've got 9 people. The substitution patterns are pretty straightforward. You'll get Stewart will come in for Mullins, and Ross will come in for Ross will come in for Caravan, and the point guard Smith comes in for Demery Jr. and Ryba comes in, and then you work Caravan back in and maybe switch things around a little bit. I mean, yeah, I think 9 guys is good. And like for another example, like Stewart played really well on Friday night against Texas, and Ross barely got off the bench. And Hurley talked about this last night because Ross was the player of the game last night. I don't give a rat's ass about Ball's 26 points. I do. I'm just saying that the player of the game was Jaden Ross because he electrified that place in the second half. He had some dunks that were all-star game dunk contest worthy, and provided them with an energy. So when you've got 2 guys who can come in off the bench and kind of fill for one another, that's another thing that most teams don't have. That's something the coaches die for.
Oh, 100%. It's a luxury for sure.
They can pick up for each other if they're not getting it done. And
Joe, you bring up a great point too.
That's a sign of a great great team though, right? Is like,
oh yeah,
when you have a bunch of kids that are ready to have their number called, and you're going into a game, it's like, I try to tell my daughter, whether you play 1 minute or you play 20 minutes, you got to make the most of it for your teammates. And you can impact a game in 1 minute, by the way, right? You can take a charge, you can make get a 50-50 ball that changes momentum, or you could be in there for 20 minutes and make no impact, right? So, I think it's a luxury when you have kids that say, all right, this guy needs me today. I got his back, and they can just slide in and fill that void. Not a lot of teams have that. They think they do because they got talent. Like, depth is different than kids that are willing and know when to step up for each other. Those are 2 totally different things. And I think it's great to see.
I just clicked on the season stats. The 9 guys are averaging. They have 9 guys who are averaging 19 minutes or more. That's pretty crazy.
That's by the way, Joe. Do you know how that's hard to do from a coaching perspective? Like Hurley should get a lot of credit for that because, again, we've talked about this before. Like as a college coach, you are in a little bit of retention mode, right? Like you got to make sure that you got some talent. You got to be able to plug it and fill it so that these kids see the light at the end of the tunnel and they don't leave.
No question.
Like that's a big reality. And when you have depth, like, listen, I'm sure every coach in the world would say I'd rather have depth than not, but depth can be really tricky from a playing time perspective and making sure that the rotations are meshing and that every kid is feeling like they're getting meaningful minutes, not just
Right.
minutes, but meaningful minutes. It's a really hard thing to do as a coach. So kudos to them.
It's really interesting how, you got what in the Texas game, Ross has 7 minutes, 2 points, and then plays 25 minutes and 13 points in
Yeah.
Butler, right? Like, to your point, that's really, really amazing ability to assess flows of the game and to know when guys are hot and not to pull them when they're hot and when to pull them when they're a little bit off. You know what I mean? If there's something that he sees is off and needs to get him, like, he does that really, really well. I mean, he strikes me and what he does with coaching wise, like, he's super high intense and he thrives off the level of intensity that he has and crazy moments even in the game that he's one of those guys that somehow becomes a clearer thinker the more ludicrous it gets versus a lot of guys when they lose their mind, literally when they start to get highly intense, like a lot of coaches struggle with that. They actually make very bad decisions when they get
Right.
overly emotional.
They make decisions.
He is one of the rare people that it's almost like it gives him a level of clarity.
Well, and I think another thing, and Maria can speak on this better than we can because
That's the Jersey thing, by the way.
she's actually a coach. You also have to rely on your staff, and he's had Kamani with him since he's been here. Luke's been here for 5-6 years now. Mike Nardi's come in his first year. They've got Tom Moore, who's the GM, sitting right by the bench. So I think a lot of that, your staff helps you with that, right, Maria?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, at that level, it's so fast that they're probably a little bit more intertwined than like my staff needs to be. And I'm a little psychotic. I don't like giving up control in certain areas, but yes, I mean, he's got listen, two of his coaches could be phenomenal head coaches at any top program out there. So that's a feather in his cap. Because Kamari and Luke, these are top level guys that are taking a back seat. So, yeah.
But they're paid like top level guys, and that's important to note.
Yeah, but they're still only making like a fourth of what Hurley makes. But but yeah, I mean, I think I've said this from the beginning. I think Hurley's Hurley. He's the 3-headed monster. He's the one that's going to take all the slack in the media and then also get all the credit. But if they don't have those few assistants doing what they do on a daily basis, this would be a totally different program.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And looking at the Big East, I mean, other than St. John's, they're going to roll through it. I mean, they look so good right now. And as Maria says, as long as they stay healthy, they are going to be very, very challenging and very difficult to beat, especially being able to go 9 deep. Wouldn't you say, Joe?
Well, you're going to get it. I think I've said this earlier, Steve. If you go 16-4 in the Big East, I think that's really good because I think you're gonna have a game where the other team shoots lights out. You're gonna have a game where the officials, and UConn fans think this happens every game, and it's not true. But you're gonna have the game where the officials are a factor, and you're gonna have a game where you just don't play well. But I mean, on the whole, they're just so much better than everybody in the I mean, not so much better than St. John's. St. John's is really good. Don't get me wrong. But, when we're talking about Seton Hall and Providence and those teams, Creighton and Marquette aren't very good. At some point, Shaka Smart's got to embrace the transfer portal or he'll be out looking for a job. I mean, he's like Dabo Sweeney, doesn't believe in the portal. Well, look how that's worked out for Clemson football the last couple of years. It's going to start taking its toll on Marquette basketball. But yeah, I would think 16-3 or or 16-4, 17-3. That's realistic expectations.
And especially, I mean, they have 11 wins already.
Yeah,
which
but that's not. I mean, but we're talking Big East.
I know, but overall, 11 wins already. Isn't that impressive?
Oh my God! Yes, of course it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
You
if they do go 16-4 in the Big East, wow. I mean, it's going to look great for them, and that
So I
should give
just
them
looked
the
up.
number one
Kamani
seed.
makes $857,000 a year for an assistant. That's
Wow,
pretty good.
that's
Luke makes 540. So those are they're compensated, and plus I'm sure they've got bonuses for how they do, and how the team how the team plays in the tournament and stuff. But
no, you're right. You're right. I mean, I'm sure their contracts are incentive laden for sure, and
I'm shocked there's that much of a gap between Kamari and Luke.
well, Luke's only been here 5 years. Kamani's been here since the start of the Hurley era. So
yeah. Still,
right.
300 grand is a lot of money.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, not that I think Luke is hurting for money at all, but yeah, I don't know. But again, like you go and you take a head job out in the SEC or the Big 12, that number for both of those guys is doubled or tripled.
Yeah.
So, but listen, it's like, I mean, you look at on the women's side, and we haven't gotten to them yet, but like, Chris Daly is probably one of the highest paid assistant coaches, associate head coach, whatever in the country, but she's not sniffing what he sniffs.
No, not at all.
Whereas if she left and she went somewhere else, she would. But to that point, like I'm also always a big believer in that not everybody's meant to be a head coach. Head coach sounds great, but let me just tell you something.
No.
It is, even at my level, it is a freaking grind. And everything good is your fault. Everything bad is your fault. There's a lot more that goes into it than we just see out on the court in X's and O's. So, some people just like kind of just, again, not having to be the guy. They're like the Alex Caravan of the coaching staff,
So, Maria, the women had one game against USC, and you called it that they were going to win big, and they definitely came out and had a great showing.
Well, actually, the scary part is I actually didn't think they played well at all. And they still won by what, over 30 points, I think?
Yeah, it was
the first time where I watched the game and I was like,
51.
wow, Sarah Strong's not like Sarah Strong today. Did you see that, Joe? It was like the first she was a little out of sync. I mean, listen, I don't think it matters. She still did all the other things that we needed her to do, but it was the first time where I was like, okay. I guess she is allowed to have like a human game.
A down game, yeah.
And the fact is that she was, as you said so accurately, MC, she didn't play great. She played like a normal player, and they still beat the crap out of them. So, and they had been playing, USC had been playing pretty well, but the two styles just, the way UConn plays, they took the freshman kid out of the game for USC. And, Blanca, it was the first time I've really watched Blanca. Boy, what a disruptive force she is on the defensive end. Oh, my God.
You know what they're doing a lot of this year, and I saw them do it in pockets last year that I think is really smart is, when KK's in and they got some of these kids that can really pressure the ball full court, they're like denying the point guard, right? So they're denying the other team's go-to person to be able to get into their offense, and they're doing it 90 feet. Yeah. And so what I think we're seeing is that by the time these teams are getting the ball over half court and are getting it to their playmaker, there's not that much time left on the shot clock, and now you got to rush into a different look, which I really love. I think it's so smart. Obviously, you got to have the dogs to be able to do that, but I think that like this team could very easily win another national championship this year just based off of their defensive output. Forget about the offensive side. I think this is one of the best defensive teams, diversely too, because you have kids that can guard multiple positions really well.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. And like I said, they won, and I didn't think they played great overall. But it's scary to see how head and shoulders they are above another ranked team, a program that 2 years ago went to the Final Four. Last
Yeah.
year maybe could have. Obviously, they're missing their best player, right? We know
Right,
that. And they
right.
graduate. They lost a lot. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I'm waiting for Saturday. I think the Iowa game is going to be
Yeah.
one of our bigger tests this year. Because I think they're smart. I think they're savvy. I think they'll make us play defense for long periods of a time. And I think they're a solid defensive team. So we'll see.
And you said it was a different styles, a big difference of styles of play as well, right?
Between Iowa and us?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily like a different style than we've seen, but we haven't seen this style with this caliber of a team yet, right? So it's like, two different things there. What are they? I think they play Marquette tonight. Marquette's second in the Big East, but I think they'll thump them. And she's a good coach. I like her. So I don't think it'll be like a 60-point Big East win, but I think it'll be over by halftime. That would be my guess.
Yeah. Especially at home. Especially at home, they
Yep.
just crush people. Both teams are. The men have won like 26 straight at the XL's People's Bank Arena. I don't know how many in a row the women have won there, but they just roll people in Hartford. Something fierce.
Yep.
What is the capacity at Hartford?
15. I can tell you this.
Oh, it's
That's
15.
my little
Okay.
stat sheet. 15,495.
And Gamble is 10?
10 and change.
10 and change. Okay. Dave, did you get a chance to check out any of the South Carolina game?
Southern California.
Southern California.
It ended up being a slaughter. So,
Yeah.
a 28-point victory. Again, like
I just can't believe they hold single-digit quarters. Amazes me.
The women's basketball team, it is so dominant. It's one of these things where, like, I think they would have to really have a down game where not just a down game, like they're off a little bit, like everybody's, like has the flu or something. I don't want to knock on wood there, but like that, I mean, that's what it would take just to equal the playing field between them and everybody else. I mean, they all came down with the flu. It's still it would be a ball game with the very best teams. So, and that would be with them throwing up on the sideline with garbage cans next to them. But they're at a whole different level. Like, the people come off the bench like Quinones, and they just score at will. It's crazy. It's crazy to watch. And you watch the game, if you watch it from the beginning and like where you see them like feeling teams out, you watch the other team move, and they do not move. I'm just talking like just beyond the basketball skill set of it, like the way they run the floor, the way they they run back and forth to get open, the way they move without the ball, like the way that they play defense and how they communicate. It's a whole different level. I honestly, sometimes I watch, and these are like top 10 teams in some cases, or top 20 teams. I'm watching some of the other teams, and I'm like, oh, they're so good that I can see the flaws in the other teams. Like when they start to move, I'm like, oh, that woman is not a good enough athlete on that team, and that one is not a good enough athlete to be able to hang with them. Like you could see it. Whereas like I think that's so rare that you see such a difference in how they're able to move and play the game versus other teams. I mean, USC's not even in the ballpark. Not even in the ballpark.
No.
Of that.
No.
DePaul is a joke. I mean,
No.
that's it's crazy. I mean, that's a Big East team. It's a joke.
I know.
They won by 60 points or 70 points or something. It's 65 points. It's a whole different level. Gino is the king. He should be. He's not on the Mount Rushmore of women's basketball. He's not. There's a separate Mount Rushmore for Gino Ariema. There's a separate. Literally, there's a Mount Rushmore, and then they put a king on top of the Mount Rushmore, and that would be Gino. It'd be 5 times the size of the current Mount Rushmore. You know what I mean? It'd be the whole entire mountain.
Yeah. DePaul was 102 to 35. I mean,
there you go, 67 points. Right.
That was way back. That was the Sue Bird's retirement game where they retired.
And that's why you gotta play the teams that they play non-conference.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, by far, Joe. Like you said, playing in the Big East hurts them more than anything. They're not challenged at all by anyone.
I don't know how Iowa is good. Is going to handle Sarah Strong. I don't know how they're going to handle Sarah Strong because Iowa State, who is I think maybe 10. I don't know. The one's 10, one's 11 or 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
Iowa State center scored 30 points on Iowa.
Right.
How are they going to handle Sarah Strong?
Have you seen Iowa State center?
I know she's great. I recognize that.
She's like 3. No, I don't mean like that. I'm saying that is a little bit more of like a size component. I mean, she's 3 times the size of every player on Iowa. Right. Sarah is much more talented than that girl, but they're not. She's not going to be able to body them at the rim like the girl from Iowa State did.
She's so much quicker though. She's.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
the Iowa girls are quick. They're not slow. I think. Right. I just think that's an unfair comparison because by the way, the girl from Iowa State takes 30 shots a game at the rim.
They had another Audie Crooks girl, Maria. Is that her name? Audie Crooks.
Yeah.
The Iowa State girl.
Yeah, she's huge. I mean.
Yeah, I just looking at a picture of her.
Yeah, but that's one of those things with Iowa State, and I've said this before about UConn is if I'm playing against Iowa State, I'm letting Crooks. She could score 50 on me. I don't really care.
Right.
I'm just not letting anybody else score. Right, and hope that I score 51. When you play UConn, the hard part is, and again, that's how I'd play UConn. I'd say let Sarah get 40 and let's face guard AZ and try to slow down everybody else because I just don't think that you can contain her because she could do too much. And I think Iowa can pose different problems to her than they could against a Crooks because they just don't have anybody that size.
What's her size exactly?
I mean, I'm trying to be nice about this, but
is she 6'6"?
She's a big She's big.
She's a wide body.
Yes, she's 6'3". I don't want to say weight, but she's not small. Let's put it like that.
Oh, okay. So she's not
physical. She's a physical.
I got you.
I got you. Will back you down. Physical.
Picture a lineman, a senior in high school lineman playing against a 6th grade middle school team.
Well, Dave had that.
Who's the best guard, the offensive guard in the NFL? Pretty wide, very strong, and she's athletic. She can move.
Oh yeah.
She can run
and listen, so height you can do stuff about, right? Height you can try to whatever, but she's tall and she's wide. I would not want to guard her for even a minute.
Dave had that in his the 10U championship game.
We lost that team.
That lineman.
That's the team we lost.
Is that comparable?
Are we bringing back bad memories? Because I hear he's still on the fire.
Hey, they won the national championship behind that guy.
National championship. That's what infuriated me.
Joe. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes.
On the
So I
floor.
know that we're very good because we're the only team that we actually had a chance to win against them. But yeah, they won the national championship.
They list this Crooks girl as 6'3". That's hard to believe.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I didn't know she was 6'3".
And wide body, to be gentle, is an understatement.
Is she a freshman?
Right? I mean, I'm trying to be nice, but like you're talking about, it's like when Shaq came in.
Quentin Nelson. It's Quentin Nelson.
It's like when Shaq came in the league and he was just like unbelievably just bigger than everybody else. He was hard to guard because he's just so big.
Right.
I mean, they've got a picture on the website of her standing on her bio page, standing next to another player on the team. And it's frightening. Is the only thing I can say. It's frightening.
So now you know what I mean. I was trying to be like.
Was Iowa competitive with them?
Iowa.
Yeah, I thought it was a close game.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was curious about.
Yeah. They have another forward. They have another forward. I think Iowa. Like they're very good down low. That's like their whole.
Yeah. Right.
Iowa State. I'm sorry. Iowa State is very good down low. So they have like a forward. I think that scored 20 points against Iowa too.
Oh my God! Iowa State beat Sacred Heart 99-34.
Wow.
I mean, I know Sacred Heart's having a real down year, but they beat Marquette by 11 in the Coconut Hoops Classic in Fort Myers. And they beat Iowa. That was a close game, 74-69. So, but again, Marie, you're right about Sarah. To have Sarah play a normal person game and still win by 30, that just tells you all you need to know about UConn.
Yep.
Yeah, and they have Marquette tonight, who they should dominate. And then going into Iowa, I mean, they're playing them at Brooklyn. That should be fun, and that should be a good game. But they're still going to come out probably winning by 20 at least, right?
Against Iowa?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I could see it being a close game. I could also see it being a 30-point game.
Yeah.
I think Iowa they'll pose problems that we haven't seen yet this year. So I'm interested to see how we respond to that. That's all.
In what way, Maria? What do you think they can do?
Iowa?
Yes.
I think they run. I think they run nice offensive sets. Like I said, they're not going to play super fast.
Yeah.
So again, they're going to make us play defense for long periods of time. Assuming that they can handle our pressure. I think they move the ball really well on the offensive end. They play solid defense. They don't gamble a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple, some man, some junk, a little bit I think they got a lot of high IQ players, and I think they have a good coaching staff. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah.
So you think? I mean, they can run. They can get up and down the court.
I don't think that's their forte, but yes. I think that, if you look at their games, outside of blowing people out, they're pretty low scoring games. The Iowa State game, I think it was in the set, low 70s, low or high 60s. So, or they lost to Oregon 50-49.
Yeah,
you're seeing, unless they're playing bad teams, that's kind of what you're seeing there.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. They have been very low scoring.
Yeah, 74-69 versus Iowa State.
But it's interesting that they're playing in Brooklyn. That's gonna be fun to see. I can't wait to see that one. But after that, I mean, Marquette tonight, that should be easy. And then Iowa, they will be competitive against. But like you said, it could be a low score. It could be a 5-point game. It could be a 30-point game. And depending on how we play. Joe, what do you think for that?
I don't think they're beating Iowa by 30. I'll be honest with
No.
you.
No, you think it'll be closer?
I think if you beat them by 15, that's a big one. I mean, that's a sizable win. Because look, I mean, they're 11th ranked or 10th ranked, whatever they are nationally, and they can play, and they've got a good coach, and it's on a neutral floor. It's not in Gamble or the Connecticut's most famous arena. So I just think that I think if you win that game by 15 points, that's a good way to go into your break.
Yeah. They've also like outside of, when they're playing against the better teams, as I'm looking at their schedule now, yeah, they're low scoring games. Like they played number 15
Yeah.
Baylor. The final is 57-52. So they're doing something right on the defensive end. So again, I don't think it's going to be as easy as we've seen. And honestly, they've won a couple of close games, which
Yeah.
I always say the one thing that I always hate about us and our schedule is that sometimes we get to postseason and we don't have the tight game experience because we've been blowing everybody out all year. I think there's something to be said for teams that have been in a bunch of close games and still win.
No, you have to have that experience of being in the tight games. If you don't have that experience and you go
Well, you don't
into
have
it
to.
blind-
UConn's won many a national championships not being in close games, but
Right. I was just going to say that.
just another anomaly. But yes, typically for normal programs and teams, it is helpful to have played in a couple of close games.
So obviously, looking tonight, you see them rolling Marquette, and you see them beating Iowa one way or the other.
Yes.
Correct. And for the men, obviously, we have good old DePaul, and we have do we have anyone? And we don't play Marquette until January 4th. The Xavier on Christmas or January or New Year's Eve. So we're gonna beat DePaul as well, Joe. Right?
I would think so. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they should. They're much better team than them, and they never lose to. I mean, they've never lost to Butler. I think they've got 20 something straight against DePaul. So yeah, I would think the only problem
Yes.
with the DePaul game is, and Maria knows this, kids are going to be flying out of there and get back home for the Christmas break. That's
Right.
always a tough game. That last game before break when kids are looking to bail out. So you would hope that, and I would think the coaches will address that.
Yeah.
They'll have their full attention, but that's always kind of a trap game.
Trap game. I was just about to say that 100%.
Yeah,
Great minds
because
think alike.
Yep.
not
It's,
that long to break.
You want to know why too? Because there's always this like undue feeling of you want to end on a win before break. So sometimes you may even push the envelope a little bit more than you have to, which can make you play a little scattered.
Right.
Let's finish this, this portion of the season on a win, like famous last words.
Yeah.
Dave, what about you? What do you think?
Blowout.
Blowout.
For the men?
Blowout all the way.
Oh no, I thought we were talking women.
But we can talk
Oh,
both.
and the ball blowout.
And you think the men will have a closer game?
Men will smack the ball.
Yeah, I
They
agree.
will smack the ball. The ball does not. I mean, they will smack the ball. Hurley will not allow that.
And Maria, you said you don't play again until after break, correct?
Yeah, our next game will be in sunny Puerto Rico.
Ooh,
That's awesome.
We're expecting tan lines when you come back.
wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
Me too. It's funny. I might actually hit the tanning bed once or twice before I go, so I
Yeah,
don't
you gotta
burn
have
to
a little
Good
crisp
glow.
thing
while
for
I'm out
you
there.
fair skin types.
Yeah,
Us guineas don't have to do that, but
yeah. Well,
fair
I'm
skin
half
type.
Italian, but I always burn once a
Yeah.
year, like that first good burn, and then I tan after that. But I don't want my first burn of the year to be in December. So
Yeah, you
I
gotta have
remember
that.
when we remember. You remember when we played? I was doing your games then. We played out in Honolulu. We
Oh.
played in that tournament where Oklahoma was, and
you
we
know what the
played
best part of that tournament was? I remember that vividly. We almost lost in that championship game there.
Right.
Alabama's football team was staying in our
Yes.
hotel and their
Yes. I remember
families.
that.
And we would go
Good.
down to the lobby to kill time. And they had the song Sweet Alabama like on
Oh,
loop
Sweet
there.
Home Alabama.
And then they would go, so it would be Sweet Home Alabama. And then they would all scream
Roll
Roll Tide,
Tide,
roll.
Roll Tide.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was awesome.
I remember that trip because obviously you got to get out there early because of the time difference and all that. And the day before the first game, figuring, oh, I'm Italian, I sit at the beach all the time. I sat out at the pool too long. Oh my word! And I remember Tarasi killing me because I had worn my sunglasses, and the first time she saw me after that, she goes, "Nice racing stripes,"
Yeah.
because I had the sunglass stripes on my face. But
Yeah.
I remember that Alabama was there because Eli Gold was their legendary radio play-by-play guy, and we had never met. And we sat in the pool drinking like Mai Tais for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I posted a thing a picture together, and somebody said, "Are you negotiating a game between UConn and Alabama?" And I said, "No."
No.
All right. Speaking of football, before we wrap this up, and I want Maria to jump on this, we're going to do predictions on all the college playoff games. All right. So we got 4 this week. Here's the Friday night game, and we're going to pick by the spread. Alabama on the road is a 1.5 favorite against Oklahoma. Conlon, who do you like?
Oklahoma.
Cully?
Alabama.
Schumann?
Alabama.
I'm going to go Alabama.
I like it. I like being the odd person out.
Miami.
Boomer
Usually
Sooner.
I'm the odd person. Saturday, Texas A&M at home, 3.5-point favorite over Miami.
Texas A&M.
Cully?
A&M.
Shu?
Hello?
Yeah, do you have a pick? Texas A&M.
I said A&M. A&M.
All right, I'm going to be the oddball here. I'm going the Canes. I'm going criminals against or whatever that would be.
I hope so.
All right, now these two games, I think we'll all agree on. Ole Miss, 17.5-point favorites at home against Tulane.
Ole Miss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ole Miss. Ole
Too
Miss.
bad.
All right, and this one is the ultimate no-brainer. And a lot of people are going to point to this game and say, why are P5s in the playoffs? Oregon, 21.5 at home against JMU.
Yeah. Oregon.
Yeah. So we all agree on most of them. So I'll keep track of this.
I'm rooting for JMU, though. I'm rooting for JMU. I'm rooting hard for JMU. Yeah.
All right.
I'd like to see JMU get there.
Chesney's a good guy.
But it's not going to happen.
Lose by less than 21.5.
No, I know. If we're going, I think they could.
If you're going with the spread.
Yeah, if
we're
you're
going with the
spread, I would say spread.
All right.
I
I'm going James Madison.
Yeah, me too.
Spread, I'm going James Madison.
You are?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go Oregon. I'm going to give you 56-14.
Ooh, wow. Yikes.
They'll play hard for
Was
Chesney.
Notre Dame not going a snub? I keep seeing that it's on all my social media.
No, I don't think so.
They lost to Miami.
I don't think so. I think you had to pick Miami.
I don't think you needed two group of 5 teams, though.
No.
That's
where they got. No.
That's right.
Nothing makes me happier than Notre Dame losing at anything. So
exactly.
Me too.
Exactly. Yes. And the whining they did from their athletic director.
Their fans are the worst. Their fans are the
conference.
whiniest entitled fans I've ever seen in my life.
No question.
Because New Rockany, it goes back to, the beginning of time. If there's another movie made about Notre Dame, I'm gonna have to throw up. You know?
I did not go to Rudy. I will not watch Rudy.
No.
I enjoyed Rudy. I mean, I just know it's bullshit, but you know.
Yeah, Rudy was in some financial trouble, just so you know.
He is?
Yeah, he got in trouble for fraud or whatever. I can't remember exactly what he got in trouble for, but yeah.
I just like what Joe Montana said about it. So.
Oh, I know.
What did he say?
Joe Montana basically he said it very nicely. He said it's all fiction.
He said it was.
He did play. He did get in the game, and he did get a sack, and that's the only part that is actually true.
The carrying off the field,
and he did work hard. He said he did work hard. He was getting his ass kicked every single day. That part was true.
Every scout team guy does that.
Fiction.
Every scout team guy goes through that. So, the national champion, who do you think then?
Oh, I can't give that away. I can't divulge classified information until before the game.
Okay. All right. Well,
I do not think it'll be one of the teams playing this weekend. I'll leave it at that.
All right. We'll leave it at that. All right. For women's legendary basketball player and Western Connecticut State University head coach Maria Conlon.
I still can't believe has a kid in high school. I still imagine he was like 25, Conlon.
She still looks 25.
Well, she looks 21.
And the iconic
I'm
legendary.
so old now, Joe, that I had to this morning get up and go for an annual physical. I have to start doing that now. Not monthly like you, Joe, but I got to go annually.
It'll get better. Don't worry.
Yeah, trust us.
The iconic, legendary voice of the Huskies, the best of the best, Joe D, and Coach Schumann, who's ready to go. Let's go. I'm Steve Cully. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges. Throw them right back at life.